Today I messed up when I missed all the signs that my roommate was interested in me. My roommate moved out this morning. She's immigrating. The two of us have shared an apartment for almost 2 years. I've always been attracted to her, but I didn't want to be that guy who tried to F the first female roommate he got, so I did my best to keep our relationship as platonic as possible. However, last night being the last night my roommate and I were going to be roommates, I decided to tell her that I always thought she was attractive. I also made it clear that I didn't expect anything to happen. I just wanted to get it off my chest so we could laugh about it without worrying that it might be awkward the next day, and the day after that, etc. My roommate playfully punched me on my shoulder and said she gave me so many opportunities. I had no idea what she was talking about, which prompted her to provide the following examples. When we were dancing in the club and the song finished, our faces were so close together. Our foreheads were literally touching. But instead of kissing her at that moment, I apparently rolled my eyes to the back of my head and asked if I looked like Storm in X-Men. When she asked me to show her what kind of adult film I enjoy watching, I showed her mine and she volunteered to show me hers. We were sitting on the couch watching people do it, and still I did nothing. When I was hospitalized, she said she would be happy to nurse me when I get home, but only if I promised to wear nothing but my hospital gown. When she asked me for a piggyback ride to her room when she was done showering and only wearing a towel. And when she confessed to sleeping in one of my shirts because I was away for the weekend and she wanted to feel close to me. I can go on and on and on. It was a long list, but this was the top 5 for me. It seemed so obvious now, but at the time, I was so clueless. I think I was too focused on not crossing that line that my brain completely blocked out any signs of chemistry. My roommate and I have laughed about it, but deep down, I'm so angry at myself for losing out on what could have been a more exciting experience because I was unable to connect the dots. Update 1. I contacted my ex-roommate and confessed my feelings properly. I'm going to refer to her as my friend because we're no longer roommates. She's in the UK now. I video called her this morning. She showed me her new house and thanked me for secretly packing one of my shirts in her luggage. It was the same shirt she slept in when I was away, and she was alone in our apartment. So, based on the strong reactions of that first story, I decided to tell my friend that I feel like the biggest idiot ever for letting her slip through my fingers, and I regret not making one single move when she gave me so many chances. At some point, she had to tell me to take a breath because I couldn't stop talking about all the times I thought about telling her how hot she was. I had my own list this time. A list of random moments when I almost shared my feelings with her. She asked if I was still a virgin, which caught me totally off guard, I'm not gonna lie. So I awkwardly said yes, and she said she had a feeling that was the case and asked me more questions, just to establish how experienced or inexperienced I was when it came to the opposite gender. I answered honestly, which was embarrassing because I've never been in a relationship and I've done nothing more than kiss a few girls in the past. She said, "Hear me out," and suggested that we pretend to be roommates during our video call. Then, she said I should forget about the missed opportunities and focus on the fact she wanted me just as much as I wanted her. I had to imagine that we were still sharing an apartment. She never moved out, and we were both about to make the first move. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but for the first time ever, we were very clear about what we wanted to do to each other. The things she said gave me a boner. She actually convinced me to show it to her. More might have happened, but a random bug flew past her and she freaked out. It was hilarious. Anyway, that's the end of this update. It's not the biggest success story, but it's something. I don't know what any of this means for my friend and I, but it's been an interesting journey so far, and I hope it continues. Update 2. I made up for missing all the signs from my ex-roommate. So, my ex-roommate / friend / long-distance love interest was back in the US last weekend. I'm going to stick to the friend label because it's safe and short, and it works best for now. On Sunday, my friend and I finally saw each other in person. It was the first time we were together since she emigrated to the UK. She was visiting her family, specifically her sister, who recently became a mom. Her family had no idea she was coming. She wanted to surprise them. I wasn't there to see their reactions, but based on my friend's feedback, her family was effing flabbergasted when she appeared. She informed me about her plan to surprise her family during one of our intimate video calls, which prompted us to discuss our first face-to-face date and the possibility of ending up in the same bed. As a virgin at 19, I've been curious about doing it for most of my teen years, but being on the cusp of actually sleeping with another person for the first time, especially someone I've always been attracted to, made me switch from curious to anxious in an instant. I was afraid my anxiety would make it difficult for me to relax during the date. Not to mention during if we did it, if I made it that far. Thankfully, I was in good hands. My friend never made me feel uncomfortable or ashamed for telling her how nervous I was towards the end of the date. We decided to go to my apartment, which used to be our apartment not so long ago. I introduced my ex-roommate to my new roommate, who awkwardly hugged my friend as if he knew her. The following day, he confirmed that he was high when that hug happened, and I believed him. He chewed up a chunk of the evening telling my friend about his near-death experience with a shark when he was surfing in South Africa. Random AF, but it's all he talks about when he's stoned. My friend and I eventually made it to my room. Nothing had gone wrong so far. I was happy. However, I was beginning to get flashbacks of all the signs I missed in the past and low-key stressing out about missing nonverbal signs during doing it if I was doing something bad or weird or whatever. The good news, I'm no longer a virgin. The bad news, premature ejaculation. Repeating lines I've heard in porn that sounded awkward and out of character when I said it. Humming all the things she said when my friend encouraged me to be more vocal. In my defense, it was done as a joke, but my delivery made it quite unclear. Thinking out loud and dropping lines like, "The main entrance and the back door are closer than I expected," when my friend's vag was in front of my face. My friend literally putting my hands on her chest and butt and reminding me several times that I was allowed to touch her before it finally sunk in that she was naked for a reason. Despite all the research I did regarding oral, when it was time for me to apply what I've learned, I became cursed with uncontrollable hiccups. To make my hiccups go away, I did what I normally do and stopped breathing for as long as possible, which not only suspended all activity, but the lack of oxygen also deflated my boner. When my hiccups were gone, so was my ability to quickly get hard again. Hearing my friend moan for the first time while my face was buried between her legs eventually resurrected my erection, but I never made her orgasm with my mouth, tongue, or fingers, which was unfortunate and somewhat unfair because my friend instantly made me orgasm from oral, hence the premature ejaculation at the beginning. I was unprepared for the amount of choreography, communication, and cardio that came with doing it, but I managed, for the most part. My friend and I discussed our future. We agreed that we were both too busy and too far away to invest in a proper relationship at the moment, so we decided to continue having fun with each other as friends, but leave enough room for something deeper to develop down the line. That's it. The end. That's the update. I'm still trying to process what happened, but I am planning to go visit her in the UK for a few days in April. In springtime. The season of love.